Welcome to the Kyber Show, Episode 5. We are back to 5v5 and ships in Grand Arena Championships Season 11. Admiral Piet is in game as we speak, but he wasn't in game for Week 1 of this Grand Arena. Mon Mothma is in game and very viable at low star counts, and Chupio is farmable now, so we're seeing these two characters start to impact the meta. It's a great time for GAC. Let's get to the fights. Fight number 1 is Jedi Knight Revan, Bastila Shan, Jedi Knight Luke, Hermit Yoda, and Old Ben versus Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, Hux, Sith Trooper, Kylo Ren Unmasked, and First Order Stormtrooper. This is a risky but proven and very effective counter against Kylo Ren that requires a few key choices, especially at the beginning of the fight. These choices are primarily dependent on Hux and Sith Trooper and their status in terms of turn meter, and especially if they have ability block. Old Ben, his turn meter, and when he takes a turn compared to those characters is also very important. You need to kill Kylo's team as fast as possible and then finish him off. The fight starts like it normally always does, with Kylo, Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, using Stasis Strike and Sith Trooper assisting. And let's pause for a minute here. Jedi Knight Revan now takes a turn due to Savior, and he gets 100% turn meter, or a bonus turn rather, not a turn meter. And he also gets full health, even though he doesn't need it now, as well as strategic advantage, which can be very useful later in the fight. And now there's a question of what to do next. Instead of marking Hux or Sith Trooper and going directly for them, which changes the whole pace of the fight, instead he uses Master Strategist to swap turn meter with Jedi Knight Luke. Given the relatively low speed/turn meter of Luke, this really throws off the pacing of the fight and slows down your damage quite significantly. So Luke uses Repulse to stun everybody, and then Hermit Yoda gives Master's training, and they start working on the tanks. Rally is now used on Luke to do more damage, and let's pause here a moment again. Now there's a choice again who to use direct focus on. The correct choice at this point is to again target Hux, since even if Hux did die, Sith Trooper's unique Emperor's Legacy will just remove his stun. He won't actually be able to take a turn and do his AoE or a cleanse. So let's see what happens. He goes for Sith Trooper, and Sith Trooper doesn't actually die here. Old Ben uses Mind Tricks, although just now Kylo Ren using using Fierce Onslaught removes debuffs from his allies, so Mind Tricks pretty much did nothing. And there goes Jedi Knight Revan, and now Kylo is starting to kill everybody. Old Ben dies. 3 opponent team members left alive. Luke does such huge damage though. Ability block on Kylo Ren, no luck. Luke does a counterattack for good damage. And here we go again. Going after Hux, he falls easily. That's a lot of damage to Kylo. Unfortunately, Kylo goes into his ultimate at this point. Luke is left alone. Even though he applies blind, Furious Assault, Stasis Strike rather, ignores blind. And even with all of the poor choices, it's still nearly a win. It's a difficult fight. Fight 2 is Commander Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Chewbacca, Watt, and Old Ben versus General Anakin Skywalker, Rex, Fives, ARC Trooper, and Echo. This is sort of a classic matchup, though normally C-3PO is in place of Watt, and relies on the huge DPS from the Rebels, as well as Old Ben's timely mind tricks, and the fact that his death will buff the rest of the team when he dies. Secondly, Having a lot of tenacity on Chewbacca is quite helpful, though this is primarily when C-3PO is on the team, since with Watt, you have the ability to dispel using his basic. Let's see how it goes. All right, at the beginning here, Rex is targeted and Han stuns him. Han always goes before the Watt, by the way. Now the weapon tech or shield tech first. So weapon tech goes on Han for the extra damage and ignoring defense. Great choice. Here, let's pause for a moment. The correct choice for Commander Luke is not to use Call to Action. Luke doesn't need the health or protection regeneration right now. And even though Maste Ryan has or does not have the Zeta on Luke's Learn Control, Luke will still have the plus 50% defense and gain 10% turn meter every time a rebel ally takes damage. So this helps speed up the fight quite a lot for the rebels. The important action at this stage is to use the Force to remove the turn meter from General Skywalker. So he does that. More damage goes down. Han puts out enormous amounts of damage and correctly uses Never Tells Me the Odds here to put General Skywalker into cover without taking another counterattack. Old Ben goes and hits pretty much everybody. Now let's pause another moment again. Using Pulverize is not the correct choice here. This gives 5s effectively full turn meter and exposes Chewbacca to counterattacks from the 3 clones, excluding Rex, who is still stunned. It's better to go with Furious Bowcaster, which doesn't allow you to trigger the counterattacks. Now, if Old Ben had the shield generator and meant he was taunting, or if Luke was not in Call to Action, if he had not used Call to Action, he would be getting turn meter every time either Chewbacca or Luke was hit, and he would get another turn one way or the other. So the choices start to cascade here as we go. Let's continue. So he does an AoE, his buffs are removed, Old Ben takes some damage. Now shield generator goes on Old Ben, doing some more damage to the clones. Goes and almost takes out ARC Trooper. Old Ben finally taunts, although it's not really needed. And look at that damage from Han, that's amazing. General Skywalker goes here and unfortunately dazes Chewbacca. There's the buffs from Old Ben. Here Watt can cleanse Chewbacca. Another hit from Luke doesn't quite topple him. And finally Chewbacca will drop General Skywalker, although taking quite a bit of damage. And now Arc drops Chewbacca and we're left with 3 versus 2. Here, Medpack or Shield Tech on Luke. I think Shield Tech, the Medpack is not as good as the Shield Generator, but don't think either would have made a huge difference. General Skywalker with some RNG kills Han instead of targeting Luke. And just like that, the fight's over. Even with RNG, it might have been winnable, but those little choices at the beginning make a risky fight even more risky. Tough match. Match number 3, the match of the week, is Emperor Palpatine, Darth Vader, Watt, G12 Shore Trooper, and G12 Bastilla Shan Fallen versus Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, First Order Stormtrooper, Hux, First Order Officer, and L3. This match is all about Vader going into Merciless Massacre and killing Supreme Leader Kylo as quickly as possible. Normally, Darth Vader is the lead here, but having Emperor Palpatine gives some additional health to Shore Trooper and Bastilla. It's important since they're only G12. And some turn meter advantage as well. Even when they're all G3, this is not an easy fight. And to reliably win, you need to have the correct health and protection totals and Darth Vader's damage and crit chance have to be modded correctly. It's a very tough match. Fight starts with Watt giving Blast Tech Weapon mod, and Supreme Leader Kylo will use Stasis Strike like normal. Vader is not fast enough to go before Hux, allowing Kylo to do Furious Onslaught. And now everybody's dead except Vader and EP. Force Crush gives him full turn meter thanks to EP's lead. And into Merciless Massacre he goes, with the whole team barely damaged. Trying to get a skill block on First Order officers. Going for a First Order Stormtrooper. And now see if he gets lucky or unlucky with First Order Stormtrooper doing a counterattack. He does, oh, but it's First Order Officer, luckily targeting L3 for the AoE, and he kills Hux. That's very lucky. Now, will he get another counterattack? No counterattack. Emperor Palpatine go, and First Order Stormtrooper calls Kylo to counterattack. Now it's just Watt and Vader against 4. That does not look good. Have to risk. Oh, another counterattack from First Order Officer. Kylo takes out Watt. Stormtrooper dies from the dots, and 1 versus 3. And the dots expiring on First Order Officer give Vader another turn. He does Force Crush once more. First Order Officer dies. And now what does he do? L3 or Kylo? He could get Kylo a little bit lower for the cleanup, perhaps, or go after L3. Let's see, what does Calling Blade do here? Kylo's about to go into his ultimate. Oh, Kylo is down. That is amazing. 324,000. You should go watch Endall's video on this one. It's rare that he gets excited about a fight, and this is one of those fights. It's exciting to watch also. And now it's just finishing off L3. Should be able to do that, hopefully. Vader is quite the character after his rework. Just one more basic here, and L3 goes down. What a great fight. What a great win. Thanks for watching. As always, please do let me or Skelterix know if I missed anything in my analysis, or if you know of any other content creators who are regularly producing Grand Arena content. Talk to you next week.